camera for beginner shooters, Canon edition. Honestly, if you're just getting started out, you should really buy whatever you can afford. But one thing I understand is that people want to be told exactly what to get. In this video, I'll be making a recommendation for the brand Canon and what I think a beginner shooter should buy. My name is Rajohn Hines of Hines Studios, and I've been shooting with Canon over a decade as a hybrid shooter. So I cover video and I cover photos, and I've always kept the mindset, stick to what works. Beginner shooters, I believe you should look into the Canon EOS R10. This is actually an R6. I'm just holding it as something. It's a similar form factor. First, let's talk about price. It's currently listed at $879.99, and that's brand new for just the body. Now, one thing about this camera is that you could take great photos and great video. So I say that very general. If you want to get into all the specs and everything like that, all that information is available, and I don't even know if a beginner would care about megapixels and things like that, but just know you can get great photos, great videos, and you have great autofocus so that all your images are tack sharp. Personally, I've always leaned towards the cameras that I can easily switch between photo and video. Normally is with a click of a button or just something that you can program to be able to jump back and forth. That versatility as a creator is unmatched, because if you're out in the field, you can grab some video. If you're shooting a photo situation, you can grab some video for BTS or just for your own personal content, and vice versa. You can always, like if you're out shooting video, you can always get a few stills just to add to your portfolio, just to, you know, keep for the memories or whatever the case may be. So still on this photo, video, quality thing, you have so much versatility as a creator. So sometimes people ask this question and they're just thinking photography covers that base. Other people ask this question and it's not common, but people do ask the question about, you know, what camera should I buy, and they're looking for video, but I still would have the same recommendation, especially for a beginner. If you want to just capture memories going on a Disney trip with your family and you want something quality that you can hold on to or just leave on a hard drive and never look at, or make YouTube videos, or even start shooting, like start your content business, you can use the Canon R10. And as your skills build up and everything, and you start to take it more serious, you can still use this camera. I know some professional shooters that prefer to take the Canon R10 out when they got cinema cameras and all types of gear. So this camera is extremely versatile and is new. It uses processors from its big brothers and big sisters, or its big brothers in the Canon line, and the mirrorless line is the line that Canon is just all in on, and you see non-stop updates of new lenses, new bodies, and stuff like that. So you'll be making a sound investment to start here. The one thing I talked about was just the price of just the camera body, but you also have to have some other things that go along with it. So as a beginner, you may not think about this, but if you buy the camera body, you will get a battery. But the other most important thing is you need a lens. You will need a lens for sure. So on Canon, one of my favorite sites is B&H. Those are the two particular sites that I normally buy from, and they have different kits, they have different configurations that you could buy. So normally it starts with just the camera body. Then you have the option to buy the camera body with a lens, which is a little uptick in price. And then there's other options where it's like a creator kit, because we are in this creator economy. People are constantly making different things for online content, so they give you all that in a package. And honestly, if I was just starting out today, I would go for the creator kit. That way I have everything I need to make content and you can right out the gate just get started. You don't have to put it together piece by piece, because that's what I did when I first started out, and it wasn't terrible, but it would have been nice just to have one box shipped to me with everything I needed, and I got to create, and it just went from there. And like literally I build up from there. And the last thing to mention is just a SD card. You'll need somewhere for all this stuff to save, because when you take pictures and videos, it does not save internally, so you need an SD card. Once you figure out exactly the route you're going to take, because it is okay just to buy the camera body and lens kit, or the camera body and then find a cheap lens, that's totally fine. So when I first started out, one thing I did was I would just scour the internet for just cheaper prices, because this camera is new, but it's not that new to where you can find it used, which I highly recommend. You can find it refurbished, which actually should have been the first thing I said. And you can also rent it, because if you want to get your feet wet and you don't really want to commit to the $800+ you can rent it for I'm gonna just throw a number out there, say $50 to $25 a day or something. So like, do something for over a weekend. So hopefully you could probably pay about $200, get to use the camera with a nice lens and all that stuff, opposed to paying almost $1,000 and not caring or liking it at all. So the refurbished kit on Canon, at the time of me recording this video, it is $799. I can't say prices. $799.99, which is good, because earlier I said just the body brand new was like close to $900, but refurbished you can get the camera and kit lens for basically $800. If these numbers that I'm saying to you right now is like, whoa, I'm a beginner, why am I trying to pay this? I don't have this much money to spend, then drop in the comments your budget. Tell me how much it is that you have to spend reasonably, because you just can't get into this game for $20 or anything like that, but reasonably drop a budget, and I'll make some content around finding better budget options. For me, when I started out, I was given a camera to use for a few months. Then I actually did use it, and when I really got into using it, then the person that let me borrow it needed it back. So I started to look on eBay. I bought a Canon T6i from eBay, found it at a decent price with all of the accessories. So I got batteries, a kit lens, and all that stuff. So I got it for a nice discounted price, and just kind of build up from there. So I then traded in that camera, sold that camera, got the next one, sold that camera, got the next one, until I felt like I had got to the point where what I'm using it for, like I had a better understanding of what I needed out of a camera, and I didn't need to go too crazy, even though we all want cinema cameras and the latest and greatest. So hopefully this was helpful. You look into buying a Canon R10. It's the RF mount. So all of the lenses that they're coming out with, budget and high end, will work with this camera. You'll be able to use this camera for a decent amount of time, and you'll get to learn, probably make money, and make great content from it for years to come. So if you do decide to buy this camera or buy any camera as a beginner, my sole advice, my most important advice to you is just use it. Go out, shoot events, shoot YouTube videos, shoot TikToks, shoot Instagram videos, take photos of everything. Use it. The sole thing here, use it. And that way you learn so much more about your needs. You learn so much more about just this game in general. If you are a beginner, and you ask me what camera should you buy, I am recommending the Canon R10. And that's all I got for today. Peace.